Rockwell Diamonds has reported a significant increase in its revenues, in fact record revenues. That was published in towards the end of last year. Today we got the numbers, the real numbers, the ones that matter. And on the financial line, well, it doesn't look quite as happy. Rockwell Diamonds Chief Executive James Campbell is with us on the line. James, there were some very positive reports that came out towards the end of last year with your production reports for the third quarter to the end of November. Today, when I have a look at the balance sheet, your current liabilities now exceed current assets by a couple of million Canadian dollars. The losses in that third quarter were the highest ever. In fact, it's a concerning situation from an outsider's perspective. I know you always, being an entrepreneur, look at a glass half full, but where's the optimism to be drawn out of these numbers?
I think, Alex, the chief driver behind the significant loss, and that, as you said, the liabilities exceeding the assets, was the under-recovery of larger stones during Q3. Now, we achieved record volumes, a driving down in unit costs and things which were under our control, but we under-recovered the larger diamonds. And that is all within the statistical variability that one would expect if one is processing less than 500,000 cubic meters per month. And that's always been our strategy, to get to that particular point so we don't have these quarterly earnings volatility.
James, the current commodity cycle, has that also had a significant impact on your numbers?
Not really. We have found that the sales of high-value diamonds are still robust, as this is a direct result of the continued wealth of ultra-high net worth individuals. And as we don't recover smaller, lower-value diamonds, we tend to be a bit more immune to the overall diamond rough price cyclicity.
You know, I look at your balance sheet, James, and I wonder, how are you guys still in business? You don't have the resources that you require. Are you going to go out and raise funding in the near future? You today announced that you want to do another nearly 300 million rand acquisition.
Yes, exactly that, Alex. That we announced that acquisition last week, and it was the sum of quite an extensive period of negotiation. And our plan is to go to the capital markets to raise between $15 and $20 million to fund this acquisition, and to fund the addition of a little bit of new processing kit to enhance the acquisition itself. And these are three new operating mines which are right at the very beginning of their life, and which have substantially higher dollar per carat and grades than what we're currently operating under.
But with a set of numbers like this, operating loss of $5 million, how are you going to convince investors to keep putting money into the business?
When we issue our second press release on this, Alec, which would be a much more detailed press release with the economics of the new business, the investors will see that if we maintain the same cost profile which we're managing at the moment, along with the revenues which the current operator is gaining from these three mines, that it will be an attractive value proposition.
For shareholders, it does seem as though there isn't much to keep them going, given the fact that your share price has declined by 30% in the last year, and a halt in your dividend yield.
It's going to be a challenge, yes, but as I said, we believe with these new properties coming on stream, and with the ability of the team to drive down these costs to almost record levels, this will be an attractive proposition. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very tough. I don't think anyone is under any illusion there, but we think it's possible, and certainly in our calls to our major shareholders, we believe we'll be supported.
James, it looks like you want to do this deal to rescue the business. You've got 136 million market cap in your business now. You're talking about a deal that's worth more than twice the value of your company at the moment. What's going to happen thereafter? Are the vendors of Bondio going to become the new controlling shareholders of Rockwell?
No, Alec. We are buying these three mines, plus the mining rights, plus earth-moving kit and processing plant off them. And although we have a strong partnership and relationship with them, we expect new equity investors and to come into Rockwell, plus our current investors to support us. The current owners of Bondio are not going to be shareholders in the business itself. And the equity component is there to pay for the processing plant and the mining rights. And we're going to be seeking third-party funding, chiefly through one of the banks, to actually fund the earth-moving kit.
And how confident are you that you'll be able to raise that capital? How far are you down that line?
We've only just actually started that line, Alec, with the news release which came out last week. We've engaged Dundee Capital Markets in Toronto. They are a very focused firm in terms of the commodity area, and they have just actually raised a significant amount of money for Stornoway Diamonds. In fact, they raised 9 times the market cap of that company to fund the project in Canada. So with the overall commodity index looking downwards and people taking a fairly negative view, there is a strong view on diamonds at the moment, and especially that's compounded by the widening supply-demand imbalance. So yes, we think it's possible, but we think it's still going to be very, very tough.
That was James Campbell, Chief Executive of Rockwell Diamonds.